Hello and welcome back to Hunt Lowdown, the podcast for our fellow four stars. I'm Baldore, as usual, and I'm here with my co-host Drake. What's up,
Hello.
my dude?
Hello. I like how
Is
you
that what we're
say
leading
that.
with?
I like how you
Yeah.
say that. Uh, as usual. Baldor as usual. As if
Yeah,
it's
I
ever
mean,
changed.
maybe one of these weeks he'll change.
Okay. Yeah,
I'll just be a
maybe
different
we'll
boy one
see.
week. Yeah. Sometimes it's time for a change. One week I'm gonna show up. I'm like, "Hi, I'm Joe." You're gonna be like, "What?"
Be like, okay.
Yeah.
This is news to
Yeah.
me.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
Um, I guess we're gonna start out with a real quick announcement of sorts. So I have started a new job, and while I enjoy it, I'm now a teacher. So it's
Congratulations.
pretty fun. Yeah, I enjoy it a lot, but it's a lot of work, especially first year. And then on top of that, I'm doing schooling to make sure that like I've got to finish up a little bit of the like transitional stuff. And so for the next through like May, I'm gonna be super duper busy, and we're still gonna try and have the podcast, but it's gonna be pretty random
It's gonna be
as to
very
when we do it.
intermittent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, oh, it's fall break. I've got time to prep the next like three podcasts, so I'll prep them and then we'll be good.
Right.
But
So we'll have like a
basically,
streak for a little while and then back to
yeah,
random.
so they might not be as recorded live as much because we might start doing like record four at once and then just
That's wise actually.
edit them, yeah, and then like post them up like that. So if we go like 2 or 3 weeks or like a month or something without an episode, we're not dead. The podcast isn't dead. Life is just crazy.
Life is
So,
weird.
and I'm gonna be streaming a lot less. Drake will still be. I assume Drake will still be streaming as normal,
I'll be
right?
doing my best too, yeah. My,
Yeah. So
my
you can
life
still
is
go
not as
get.
hectic as yours.
Yeah. So you can still get like a half dose of Hunt Lowdown by watching the streams. So yeah, I wanted to lead with that because that is something that has I know I mentioned it in a previous podcast, but I think it's more of an official change now that I've been dealing with it for a little bit.
Right.
And yeah,
And
the
hopefully
other
after a while you can get into a groove of how you do your schooling work
yeah,
on
the
both ends
hope
of it.
the hope should basically be that September I should figure out lesson planning and um grading and like how to do that in a reasonable time frame.
Hmm.
But honestly, a lot of the college stuff is they're making me do a lot more than honestly they should. So
Ah,
yeah, but we're not here to talk about that. We've got some other topics. I know Drake wanted to start off with kind of touching on the event. We're a little bit further into the event now. We have 28 days left, so we're about halvesies, a little over halvesies way through. Um, I think let's lead with how far are you, Drake? What's your
I have
point level?
unlocked level 16 in the event, and I'm
Okay.
almost to 17.
I'm about to hit 11, I believe.
Okay.
Um, yeah, these past like 2 weeks, I just haven't had any
Yeah,
luck.
no, it's understandable.
Basically, I'm at the point where originally I was hoping to get to the end to get some of my blood bonds back because I ended up buying the thing because I figured this event was generally a step in the right direction, not as much as I hoped, but a lot of the changes were things I liked slightly more than previously. So I'm like, I'm gonna support it,
Yep.
and it's gone from getting the blood bonds back to I'm hoping to get Antosha, the chain pistol, which is
That
at like
it's such a
11.
pretty it's such a pretty gun.
Yeah, it's so cool. 'Cause, like, I like Motefu, whatever that, how do you say it? The contest winner, the white and green one. It's
Okay.
neat, and I like Dark Miasma, but I really like the copper on Antosha. So I'm excited for that. You hoping to finish the whole thing, I assume? I mean, you have a pretty
Yeah,
good
I'm
quote
hoping
left
to.
with,
Yeah. I've
yeah,
already got it unlocked and I feel like I'm gonna finish it just by playing my usual amount that I do, so I'll be
yeah. The
fine.
thing that makes me sad is I was hoping to get the electric mines, but I'm not paying a thousand blood bonds for them, and so I
Mm.
don't think I'll finish the whole gilded path. Meaning I won't get the thousand blood bonds back. I'm like, sad.
Oh, yeah.
But what do you have any changes of thoughts on the event? Better, worse?
Um, Honestly, no. I will say that it being as long as it's been, it kind of feels like it's been a permanent. I know it's not a permanent change, but it feels like it
Hmm.
kind of has been because it's such a long event that it's like I just expect to see snakes and I expect the green background. I expect all these, being able to tell where the boss layer is through a sniper scope since you can see the furnaces, whatever they're called. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I still wish it was a month longer. I think 3 months is a little bit better for a battle pass than two. Um,
Do we know what a
especially
typical battle pass is? I feel like I should know because I've played
I,
things like Valorant enough, but
I'm gonna go. Let's go with Destiny. I'll Google Destiny real fast.
Destiny battle pass.
Destiny season. They call them seasons.
Oh, seasons, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It can be interchangeable, I think, right?
Um, okay, so all season release dates. So season one went from September 6th to December 5th.
Okay.
So it was somewhere between 3 and 4 months.
Jeez. Okay.
And I'm thinking I played a lot during season of the Undying, which was October 1st to December 1st, which would have been December 2, which would be a similar length. And I like that longer length a little bit, especially when you have something like I'm going through right now. It's like I'm really happy if I get like an hour or two of hunt in.
Right. Yeah.
And so
I will say that I think for those who aren't busy all the time, so for your sake, I understand
mhm,
and I agree. But for someone like me, I think 2 months is interesting. If they can keep up the content, like
yeah,
if they end up doing seasonal stuff. So if this battle pass ends, this event ends and goes away, and there's not another battle pass shortly after, it's fine, I guess, because this was just an event. It's an
yeah.
event is not a battle pass, right?
I do kind of
Um,
like the idea of them being longer and stringing together.
See, it's like I think that's where they're going to end up going. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we have a gap between where maybe like at the end of the year, like at the
Mm,
new year or something, they release a like new event that's not an event but a battle pass, like a proper battle
yeah.
pass.
I don't think we have the content to do 2 month events and then have them
Yeah, I think that would
ready
be
for,
kind of difficult.
especially not if they're not gonna fix a complaint so far them being the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Like, there's no way they're gonna get new ones ready with what we've seen. The
agreed.
other thing is, I don't want them to make it be the same amount of content, just it takes longer to get either.
That too. Yeah, you're
Because it's
right.
the thing of like, if you finish the event, it's not like there's anything negative. Like the green screen and stuff, unless you like really hate green, the snakes like there's nothing that's really negatively affecting your gameplay. So I don't see any downside to just making it longer.
Right.
Besides, I mean, it might hurt some people's FOMO, but honestly, I don't think that's as big of a factor as they think it is for
Yeah.
some of the stuff.
I kind of hope that they end up making other events based on like already existing content. So like,
Yeah, no, I agree.
Spider Moon or something, and suddenly the Spider Boss is people are after it more for whatever
Yeah,
reason. But
I think it's interesting that I think when we started, we were both when we started the event that we were both pretty much in the normal player kind
hmm
of range of like an hour a night or a couple hours every couple of nights, something like that.
yeah.
Where now I've kind of moved to being a filthy casual right now, unfortunately, and I think you've managed to go up to a little bit more constant than the average person would be.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm playing Hunt a lot more
Yeah.
than prior for sure.
Do you think the event has anything to do with that, or is it just you're
Um
streaming more regularly and you've got a little bit more hand on things?
Honestly, I think it's because of streaming. Like
Okay,
I think the event
yeah,
helps because I want to get in and get the points and like,
sure,
and everything, but I don't think it's changed dramatically because Hunt is my mainstay, which is
yeah,
weird for me because I'm the kind of person where I'll play a game for like a month or two at most, and then I'll like never pick it up again, or if I do, it's because someone asked me to, for a night.
yeah. No, I get
But this is the one game in the last like decade that I've
it.
picked up and I've just been ham with. since I started playing it. So
No, I agree because it's kind of my main one. I always try to have a story game going, but Hunt's kind of the one that I have on regularly, and it's the reason I started streaming. So like the
right,
event hasn't affected how much I play in any meaningful way.
real life has
The
affected how you play.
Yeah, the only like there's nothing Hunt could do. Is like the only thing that might change it some is if they're like, hey, the last legendary is one that you really want, because that's the big thing for me. I don't really care about the last couple of legendaries. It's
Okay,
just the
yeah,
getting blood bonds back. But I'm like, now that I have a job that's pays better, like $5 is a little bit less of a difference to me.
right, yeah,
But uh yeah, I'm like, even if they had a big one, it wouldn't have made me more likely to play the event. It would have just made me more annoyed that I'm missing out on it.
right, and it's because you can't help it.
Yeah, because it's the game's already good enough that like the gameplay loop isn't affected that much. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm looking at the Destiny one thing,
Uh
right? And it says the duration on it. So the
huh.
first one was, so they're almost all 90 days. The longest one is the second season with 154, and
That's
there's
a
a
jump.
couple 70s. Holy frick! Season of the Lost was 182.
Jeez, I wonder why. Maybe the devs got lost and they just needed to
I think that's when they did
extend
the
it.
whole they did a bunch of revamping for stuff. So they kind of took some. I think the seasons took kind of some backdrop, and it was right before the new DLC.
Okay,
Yeah, because it looks like the ones before the new DLCs are a little bit longer. So each
interesting.
time we get each, yeah, because the
Huh.
last one before Forsaken it was 119. The last one before
It must be like a
Shadow Keep was 119.
as
Because
someone who doesn't play Destiny, it must be like an event leading up to the
yeah, it
DLC.
doesn't it's not necessarily something leading into it, but it's the idea of they can go a little bit longer without new content because they're about to drop a big content thing.
Right.
It's like when custom ammo was about to drop and we went a couple months with like nothing. They're like, we've adjusted conversion the lat fire rate, and it's like, well, this is fine, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm
And
not
then
sure
they're like
why,
custom
but
ammo. Yeah, then they're like custom ammo. It's like, okay, there we go.
yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of my thoughts on the event. Still wish it was a little bit longer, but I did end up paying for the battle pass thing to support it. I think I like the legendaries enough, but I think really it comes down to, do you like the legendaries or not for it being worth it?
Right.
The big one I wanted was I wanted the Antosha, and I wanted the Alamo skin because I like the Alamo a
The
lot.
Alamo skin is very pretty. I agree with that.
Yeah, which I'm surprising. I actually like the base Alamo quite a bit too.
Yeah, it's smooth,
It's neat.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
wish I
shiny.
wish we had a Southern Belle type skin where it's just like that silvery metal. Ooh, that's the crap right there.
Silvery metal. So like Lulu's weapons, Bornheim and all.
Uh, that'd be fine. I really like the silver with the brass. I think it's
Oh, okay.
a really cool look. Um, Southern Belle's such a simple skin, but it's so good. Anyway, how are we doing on time? Just to make sure we have time for the food.
Um, my recording is at 13:50.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of time.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna jump into the topic. Originally, it was just gonna be VoIP. I think we should do VoIP and text chat because they're the same thing.
Yeah, I mean it's more or less the same thing.
Yeah. So the first thing I wanted to cover is, what is VoIP? So VoIP stands for something. I don't freaking know.
You don't?
And no, wait, do you know?
Yeah, it's voice over IP, internet protocol. So like talking over the internet.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh, okay. Well, that's what it stands for, everybody. I've done my research well. I'm not that took like Google. I just didn't do it. I assumed it was something specifically for in game. Is why I was like, yeah,
Oh, I mean,
because
technically, Discord is VoIP. I mean,
hmm.
VoIP is an all-around thing for just talking over the internet, but
See,
like
I've only heard it
in-game
in
VoIP.
context of. I've only ever heard it in the context of Hunt.
Oh,
Like I've
okay.
just always called like Discord, like just like a
Well,
call.
right. Well, yeah,
So,
people will call Discord. Hey, you
yeah,
want a Discord? You want a VC voice
yeah,
chat? Yeah.
yeah. Voice chat's more what I hear, but yeah. So VoIP in Hunt is by default. If you're talking to your mic or whatever, you don't make noise. but you can. There's two options. You can hit enter, and then I'm doing by default. You can hit enter and then type out a little message, and it'll send it out to people nearby, or you can, speak into your microphone, and I believe default is holding Alt, and that will let you speak to the people. Now, the fun thing about VoIP, and the thing that I think is both positive and negative, is it's directional, and the further away you are,
It's
the lower.
proximity.
Yeah, it's all proximity. So, like, if somebody's VoIPing in the game, you can kind of locate them by it.
Yes.
And it's kind of neat. They actually do that with the text a little bit too, not to the same extent because it's not directional then, but it does have the further away. It's like faded.
Yeah,
It's got like a lower opacity.
yeah, the text itself is faded based on the distance in which they speak, and I actually like that. I think it's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's really funny when you're like just walking by and you just get like an extremely faded message of like hear footsteps.
Yeah, and it's like,
It's a
oh,
funny thing because you're like, wait, that's me.
yeah, it's probably me.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it works. That's gonna lead us into the first one. Is the first use of VoIP? I think is voice chatting with your partner. A lot of people don't. If you play with randoms or something, they don't have Discord, so you have to communicate via VoIP.
You communicate somehow.
Yeah, you got to
Well,
communicate somehow.
you
It's
don't
important in this
have
game.
to, but it's
You do not have to.
it's important sometimes to do so. So
Yeah, it is. It is recommended in this game to speak to your partner.
yes,
If nothing else, a lot of times it'll be like we said during the kind of the etiquette one, just at the beginning of the match to be like, "Hello, I plan to hold Shift W.
right.
That's my plan." And
Yes,
just to let them know, kind of at the start, especially if it's randoms, just to be like, "Hey, here's my plan. Here's what we're
I
doing."
plan to be reckless, or I plan to sit in the bush out in the woods.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then you can of course use it for callouts and stuff, which is
Um.
always interesting because if I call out, "Hey, there's a guy on the other side of the wall," to Drake, who's my partner, the guy on the other side of the wall also hears me calling that out, which
Yeah.
is which
Now,
is funny to me.
to be fair, the reason why Hunt has VoIP is because they
Hmm.
wanted that to be the main way people communicated. They wanted to make it
Yes.
as realistic as possible. So it was like, with things like TeamSpeak and Discord and
Yeah.
Vent and everything, like
The fuck is
they should have known Ventrilo. They should have known better. But
I mean, it exists.
the
Yeah, these all existed when it came out.
yeah, and Mumble and all that. It was intended though to
This
be a
is just
game where you use the in-game VoIP because it was a little more immersive, and a lot of people enjoy the immersive. Like me, I actually would prefer to be more immersed in the game, but I'm not gonna do it if everyone else is using Discord, where it then puts me at a disadvantage because I'm talking in game.
yeah, I have a mixed feeling on it because like I'd very much like that, but on the other like if we're talking strictly game design, yeah, absolutely. Um, the other side of it though is even if it wasn't a disadvantage, which it absolutely is, and that's why I'm going to use Discord because it's such a massive disadvantage.
Yeah,
If nothing else, just the big two reasons being you give away your position when you talk, you give away the information you know when you talk, and you can't communicate over long distance. Which are three
right.
rather important things.
I mean, but
But the other
that
thing is,
incentivizes your team to stay together, which
yeah,
with
yeah,
playing with me and my friends that that doesn't happen very much.
yeah, but those are the big things. The other thing though is a lot of times when I'm playing Hunt, like I'm like playing with like my college friends. I'm like, hey, guys, you want to hang out? And then we're like chatting about like a Warhammer armies or whatever.
Hmm.
And like, what's your paint project? How's the wife and kids? Whatever. Um, but
True, it does make it
which I
easier
say
to
jokingly, but none of my friends
yeah.
have kids yet. But it's the thing of I like to be able to communicate over Discord and just shoot the crap with my friends without having to worry
Yes.
about distance, even if we were using VoIP. Like especially you're the last ones in the server, you all go into different compounds to screw around and kill me heads for a little bit just to kind of relax after a
Right.
stressful match.
I feel
I
like
don't want to have to be like just be walking lonely there.
I feel
And
like
you
that
can
wouldn't
pull
happen
up
though with I mean, I don't know, I don't play with randoms, but I feel like randoms don't do that.
no, I'm saying with like your actual teammates.
Oh, right. Okay, yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And I mean like, I guess you could pull up Discord after you server wipe and then just switch over, but it is the casualness that is also lost when you go to that competitive immersion thing,
Right.
which I mean, gameplay wise, yeah, it's probably inferior to do it, but like just fun. It's a game at the end of the day, so
Yeah,
I think it's worth mentioning.
boils down to how you want to play, really.
Yeah. Do you have anything else on team comms?
Um, no, that covers everything I can think of.
Yeah. The next thing I have, we kind of go in the easy ones to hit first, and then we're moving
Yeah.
up. Next one is trash talk, and this is kind of off trash talking. This could almost go into VoIP, well, not the VoIP, the etiquette episode we had. I think we touched on
Yeah.
it, but a lot of people use VoIP to
Talk
just
crap.
trash talk
Yeah.
and swear at you, and if they realize you have that TTV in your name, they really love to throw
Those
those
gamer
racial
words.
slurs out there, the gamer
Yeah.
words, to get Mr. John Twitch to ban you. That's great because you're like, oh, I came here for a sense of community, and this man literally wants me banned because I put 3 little letters there. Wonderful, thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the trash talk. I think there's an appropriate sense of trash talk when you're kind of like joking around. You're like, I know you're in there, and just like random wall bang shot. Like I think that's fine. It's when you start like cussing people out or
Yeah, it's when it
genuinely
comes down
trying
to
to get somebody.
being
If you're
like
trying to get somebody banned, yeah,
yeah.
not appropriate.
Well, that for the TTV thing, but then even just in general, like if you're just gonna
Yeah.
sit there and start calling people pieces of trash because how bodied they got or whatever, like
The trash talking after death. Wow, people just
it's the after death that bothers me. Like I would rather be like, hey, that was
yeah.
a good fight. Like even if I bodied them, I would
There
rather be
is
like, hey,
there
good
is a
good try, fellas, and I'll move on. But
there is a mute after death option, and I know
there
like
there
Psycho
is.
Ghost. Yeah, like I know Psycho Ghost uses mute after death because he's like nothing they say is going to be. He didn't say worth my time, but like it's like nothing they say is going to be something I want to hear. Because if it's good game, I'll be like, no, it's not. I died. But if it's something like just cussing me out, I also don't want to hear that.
Right. I think the
I'm
best
like,
thing
yeah,
you can
that's
hear
a good
after
point.
death is something like "Good luck on your next hunt, guys."
Yeah,
Was fun.
yeah.
Something
I
like
think
that.
that's
That's probably the
I think
best thing
that's
you
fair.
can say to a downed team.
Yeah, and there have been times too where I have angrily trash talked somebody like if a team's doing the thing where they're playing super slowly and being campy while like there've been matches where like I'm running around like a mad lad just sitting in a corner and then eventually just hit me with a shotgun. I'm just like that was 20 minutes of my time wasted. And we still
Right.
lost.
Yeah.
But typically I don't like unless you're doing jokey trash talk, it's just the whole thing of just don't.
Just don't. Yeah.
If you don't have anything nice to say,
I mean,
then
as tropey as typical, I guess, as that saying is, like it's true
hmm
though. It's like I'd rather be as positive as I can because I'd rather people not feel like, well, I'm just not gonna play this. You know what I mean? Like I want to keep the player base.
there's the other end of it too where it's technically against terms of service, and I know people have gotten banned for it, and I'm like, I'm not a big fan of banning people for what they say in VoIP, like,
Yeah,
especially because we have mute buttons. I think the big thing is this. We're
that's fair.
moving that into the next topic of the mute button sucks in Hunt.
The mute button sucks.
Yeah, to open up mute, if you guys aren't aware of this, because this is something a lot of people aren't. If you open up the audio menu, so you hit
Oh, let me.
escape and then you have to be in the game.
I am.
Um, you in a match?
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
if you open up the match, I was like, I mean, this is a bold choice by him. But if you fire that up and you go to the audio menu, like where your inputs and outputs are, it'll give you the name of anybody who has chatted recently, and you can click mute on them,
I see.
which is nice. I think we need a just a keybind that you can just tap and it just mutes VoIP. Because if I'm streaming and somebody's shouting gamer words at me, I would like to be able to tap that button and mute
That
it.
is a fair point.
If
Uh
somebody is
oh.
blasting music at absolute top-notch volume of Doom music so that I can't play the game and listen to stuff, I
Right.
would like to be able to hit tap to mute. without opening up a menu and leaving myself vulnerable.
I'm sorry, the idea of Doom music playing in the bayou
Oh yeah,
just
people do
cracks
that.
me up. I know they do, but it cracks me up.
Yeah, that's one other thing I have on the topics. I think we can kind of pull that into trash talk. Like, yeah, it can be funny. This game's based around audio though, so it's also kind of a jerk move
It is a
because
jerk move, ultimately.
they can't they can't hear then. It's like you're kind of removing an aspect of the game, and that's feels kind of cheesy.
Yeah,
Feels kind of cheesy. I
yeah,
don't
it
know if I
really
go as
is.
far as say it's cheating because you can mute it. I think if muting wasn't an option, I'd be like, ooh, that's really towing that line.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing that I tied that in with just like screaming.
Yeah. No, I mean, if it's someone screaming because you shot
Yeah,
them and they're like running away screaming, that's just
yeah.
funny. You know, like that I'm fine with. But
There's people who just run into matches and just start screaming just so you can't hear or to annoy people, and like that don't do that.
yeah.
And I
Was
think you can globally mute VoIP too if you just never hear it. Like that's the thing a lot of people do. So
yeah, a lot of people do that. In fact, I did that for a while, but um I think I did that once because I got trash talked at the end and it just upset me. So I
hmm
was like, you know what? I don't need to hear anybody ever. So I turned it off. And then like
yep.
it was like a short duration that I did that, and then someone was like, "Oh, they're wanting to make peace or something." So I was like, "Well, I can't hear that, so let me turn it on."
That's actually with me, I think, because
It
I
might have been
because
actually, yeah.
moving into the next one. If we kind of recommend using Discord, and we've only talked about trash talking, and it gives away your position and crap. Why Baldor and Drake would the frick would I ever use it? Well, there's the community sense of it. You can always trade playful jabs at each other, and kind of that trash talk was like
Yeah, the fun
like
trash
you
talk.
you missed, wahaha, or whatever. But
Yeah.
there's also alliances. Where you're like, hey, my dude, I just killed like 3 teams out here, and like I've got no beds, and I don't want to have to come in there and kill you. You guys want to just like split bounty and go separate ways or whatever. Or the classic, I'm a solo, solo. Oh, you are? I'm a solo too. And then like
Yeah.
teaming up with that, like you can very much make alliances in Hunt, and it's completely with the rules. You just can't do it before game because that being cheaty.
Okay.
If I
I
if I'm
actually
playing with
wasn't aware
Drake
of
and
that
then
part, but
oh yeah, if I'm like playing with you and then like Hunter and Riley are in like the call too, and they're just playing as a different squad, and we try to get in the same match. Uh,
okay.
and so we can be a full person team versus duos. Yeah, that's super cheaty.
Gotcha. Okay.
But um, yeah, it's pretty neat, and I really like making alliances. I've been betrayed a grand total of once, and I've told that story on stream.
Yep.
Um, it was freaking hilarious,
That was a
but
good story.
it was it still makes me laugh, even though I'm not salty about it now. But like,
In
boy
the
howdy,
moment.
why you do that?
Yeah.
Because it was also like late at night at the time, and it's just like, oh,
Was it you I was gaming with when we met? Oh, what's the
gamers.
we made peace with a team. They had the boss down and had the bounty, but I think we were
Is this the
killing
fist fight?
them. No, this was like we split. Oh wait, maybe it was a fist fight. I don't. I just remember we ended up with
Yeah,
a selfie. Like we all took a picture together and put it on like
yeah.
Reddit.
And was this chapel with like 6 people or something, or is
I
this a
don't think
different
it
group?
was Chapel. I think it
No,
was.
that was with Riley and Hunter. We had a trios match where the entire server was all at the chapel,
Uh
and then we realized everybody was there, and one of the teams made peace with us, and we're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And so we ended up making peace with the other 2 teams, and
It's
we
just a
made like a
bunch of
big
people standing
semicircle.
around.
Yeah, and we all got world melee weapons, and then we had a fight to the death.
That's
Um,
amazing.
and the funniest thing was the last two teams traded, and so the person who ended up winning was a solo
It wasn't even
in
part of
in
it.
trios. No, he was a part of it. He was just the only
That's
solo in the solos versus
amazing.
trios, and he got to loot like these 11 other bodies, and got bounty. And I listened to him afterwards, and he's just going, "Oh God, everybody's dead. I'm all alone." Oh,
That's amazing. I love
yeah, it
that.
was fantastic.
Uh, I wish I
But
could
yeah, this
remember the name of the compound. It's it's Desol. It's one of the
mhm.
lower the map, one of the compounds on the lower edge, I think. No, because that's Darren and it was Reeves.
Okay.
because Reeves has the that hill on the outside with the crane on top, right? On the
I think so.
west side
I think I know
towards.
the crane you're talking about. Sure.
Okay, it was
Oh,
it
did
was
you
it was that.
take a selfie from up there?
It wasn't from up there, but it was like right between the compound, or like the layer and that hill.
Okay.
We made peace with the team inside. They came out. We did the whole med kits in hand thing, and so we were just like shooting the
Medkits are a
crap.
sign of peace.
Med kits are a sign of peace. We were just chilling out in the little courtyard, being like, well, that it was a good fight. Yo, you had like a good hit on me and everything. Like that was
Yeah.
fantastic, And it was like, all right, well, you guys go to the north one, we'll go to the south one. Have a good day. And
Yep.
we like, but we had
Yeah.
taken a picture together before that, and we ended up putting it on Reddit and everything. It was good. It was a good time.
I had one. This was actually fairly recently. Like it was during this event where I teamed up with a solo
Mhm.
and we went on an adventure together and we ended up dying to some team. I was like, oh, whip. See you around, butto. And then the next match I'm playing and I'm like pushing the boss player and I'm fighting this duo and I down one of them and I hear a death noise. I'm like, oh, I'm good. And I pop around the corner and I get killed. I'm like, all right. And then I look at the name. I'm like, this is the dude from last match that I teamed up with.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and we got into the same match because we died at the same time,
It makes
and then queued
sense.
up again together and died.
Makes sense.
And he slew me. It was
I
really freaking funny. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you can't tell by us faffing about here,
yeah,
it's
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 a good
one of my
time.
favorite features where it really does make some of the best moments in the game. Now, the issue with it is a lot of times you'll be like, I wish to make a treaty, and you just won't get a response, then you're like giving away your position and all
Yeah.
that good stuff.
So you need to be
And then,
aware that can happen, and you'll give
mhm.
yourself away, even
Well, like,
if nothing comes of it.
yeah, and like a lot of people make will make deals,
Yeah.
but some will betray you. Typically, what I've run into though is people don't like lie about it. They just either not respond or just be like, "Screw off, I want to fight."
Yeah.
And yeah, and so like I've been betrayed once, maybe twice, but it's not. It is not the majority of the time. The majority of the time, if they've made a deal with me, people
Honor
typically
it.
honor it.
Yeah.
But
I actually
yeah,
had one recently.
you got a
I
betrayed.
no, sorry, not a betrayal, but like a moment where the person honored it. I didn't know how if
Mhm.
we were in threes, and I don't remember who I was playing with, but they were further away, and I was at the clue, and I heard it go red, and we were just sitting there for, I don't know, a couple seconds, just
Oh, and then you
like
were like,
unsure what to do. So I was like, hey, over the VOIP, like, hey,
yeah,
if you want to get the clue and move on, I won't shoot you, and you don't shoot me, and we'll meet up at the boss layer and duke it out there. And they had to type because they didn't have a mic, and they were like, yeah, that's fair. So I heard movement, and I heard them, pick up the thing and then run away, and they actually jumped over me, didn't know I was there, jumped over me and had their back to me as they were running away, but I honored it and didn't shoot them in the back. It was a solo. It was actually a
yeah.
solo. I was
I've
like,
had some
dang.
nice. I've had some funny moments though where like somebody will be like trash talking and making a deal, and then like somebody gets like shot in the middle of it.
Hmm.
So like there was one thing where we were negotiating with another team, and they were like, yeah, we'll come out, and they come out onto the roof of, oh my gosh, it's the one with the big bone, the big like 2-level bone thing. You always get spawn fights at, but they come out to talk to us, and they're like in the middle of like, yeah, we're fighting this other team, and then he just gets domed and downed on
Oh
the middle of the
no.
roof, and I'm like, oh no, because he's like, oh, it's safe, because like as you're saying, we realized, wait, that means they're fighting another team, and that
Right.
other team like domed him from like 100 meters away with a sniper. And we're like, oh no.
That's amazing and horrifying at the same time.
It was really funny because in his buddy, you just see him like yeet himself off the roof. But yeah, VoIP is really really fun, and it's one of my favorite things about this game. And I kind of wish that it came up more often.
Hmm.
But this is the thing: we do play this game to get into PvP most of the time. So
Yeah, I mean that is the main objective
good
of this
deal.
game, so there's that.
Yeah,
But it is fun from time to time to try to make alliances, or at least like make peace. Like I,
Yeah, no,
I
absolutely.
I'm pretty sure I've been in a situation where someone on my team was the last one alive, and it was like they were approaching, and he just last ditch effort, like, "Hey, can I just pick up my guys and leave? Y'all keep the bounty." And they were like, "Yeah, sure," and they just ran off, like just left him.
It is the funniest thing when you be playing like trios and it'll be like one person on each team and you'll be like, "Hey, I'm out of meds. Do you want to just like each take a bounty, pick up both their buddies, and leave?" And the other guy would be like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I'm actually out of meds too.
Yeah,
Sure."
yeah, I
You
love
can't do the
that.
medkit of peace. You have to then be like, "This is the knife of peace. I swear.
It's right, yeah.
It's
I
my
swear
peace
this is
knife."
the knife of peace. Yeah, that's
So
funny.
yeah, I really love VoIP. I've had pretty good experiences with it. I think I think the funniest story for that is when I first this was like the first stream you popped in where you're like, "Hey, how do you have you had positive experiences with VoIP?" And you're like in chat.
Mm.
And I was like, "Yeah, I've always had like really
Oh
positive ones.
yeah,
It's great. It's been really fabulous. I really love the community." And then I walk in and like literally the first compound I walk into, some dude just starts cussing me out over VoIP.
yeah,
And I'm just
yeah.
like,
It was
I
perfect. It was so perfect. I was dying laughing.
I'm like, I don't remember the last time that's happened. And I'm just like, I swear they're not normally like this.
Well, it was especially funny for me because that had happened to me before too.
Yeah, it's
Where
really
I,
freaking funny.
I told someone that the community was actually pretty cool. Like, you know, you have your
Mhm.
outliers and everything, but it was a fun game. The VOIP was a fun aspect and everything, and then all of a sudden in game I get someone screaming. I don't remember if it was gamer words or if it was just swear
Mine wasn't
cussing me
gamer
out,
weird.
but
He was just going like, "Wow, you loser! Like,
yeah,
you're setting the clue off. Like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna make you like just like tons of like awful
awful
things." I'm just
things
like,
that you wouldn't tell someone in real life. Yeah,
yeah, and I'm just like, well, you know, sometimes what I say
sometimes.
doesn't translate one to one.
So those outliers I was
Uh,
talking about.
yeah, the outlier. Yeah, it's really fun. Muting is luckily a thing. I just make a push to mute button,
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
Let us toggle it or something.
And I did just check Crytek. There is no keybind setting for muting other people VoIP.
Yeah, you can go in the match, it's go into settings, audio, and then you do that. Now you can actually change your push to talk to um you do have a couple options for VoIP. You can have it be continuous anytime you say anything it's picked up
Mm-hmm.
instead of holding it down. You can also have it be push to mute or you can just mute your mic altogether.
Right.
You can also mute VoIP on death and you can hide the little VoIP icons. The funniest thing though is I like the VoIP icons because sometimes you go, "Hey, do you want to be friends?" And then just in like the muffled distance, you just hear, and
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like,
So,
"I
so you know
I
they're
have no
saying
idea."
something.
And you're like, "I'm coming closer. Please don't kill me. I just want to know if that was like friendship or foeship. Let me know."
Right.
And
Friendship
I'm
or
getting closer,
fellowship.
and I just keep hearing, "No, I don't want to be friends. I want to fight." Oh, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm leaving. Okay, let me get some distance to make it fair."
Right. Yeah. Let me go back to where I was. Yeah.
It's pretty funny though.
But
I really like it.
the key customizations at the very bottom under other VoIP push to talk slash mute.
Mhm.
That is just the button that you use to talk with, not a actual mute all VoIP button. So
Yeah, I believe it's just mute yourself.
yeah. So
So
Crytek, please just add an extra line down here, another, or make an
we'll love it.
audio section, please.
And
We beg.
I know this isn't just us. So
Yeah, definitely. When people enjoy using gamer words when there's TTV, that's actually why I don't do
yeah,
TTV in my name. So
yeah, I do it because I really like it when people can just pop in
right, that's
afterwards
how
and
I
be like,
met
"Hey, that
you.
was a fun match."
That's actually
Yeah,
how I met you. So
yeah, it's really fun, and I really like it. But it's the thing if I'm wanting to have a non-stressful night, I do not put it in. Like if I put it in, I'm like I have to be mentally prepared to have somebody shouting gamer words at me and insulting my chat, and like
right,
it's the thing of I'm not broken up about it. It's not like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this." But it's the thing of it's annoying.
it's just annoying. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm not it's not like, "Oh, I'm gonna go cry." But it's like, can you not, please?"
Yeah, but when you also
Yeah.
run the risk of getting your whole Twitch channel banned because of gamer words, it's just
Yes.
like, ugh.
Yes. Yeah. Especially when you're like, but Mr. John Twitch, sir, it wasn't.
It wasn't
It wasn't
me.
me.
Yeah.
It wasn't
They're
anybody I
not
gave
gonna
permission to be on
care.
my channel. I know.
Yeah, they're not
Um,
gonna care.
Other thing is, this is completely random, but I was looking through settings. Are you aware that you can turn your sprint onto toggle?
Um,
Instead of hold to sprint, you can toggle your sprint. You
where's
can do
that
it with
at?
crouching, which makes sense to me. But yeah, if it's in a game in keyboard and mouse settings, you can. I'm gonna have my sprint on toggle, boys.
What? I have my crouch on toggle, but I didn't
Yeah, you
actually
can.
realize sprint could be toggled.
Yeah, that's pretty funny to me.
Huh, I wonder how many people do that. Hey, if you're watching on like YouTube or Rumble or if you're in our Discord or
Yeah.
something, let us know if you
Wait, did
hold
they
hold
change
the
this?
sprint or toggle to sprint.
Let me know if there's any toggle to sprint lads out there.
I know, I'm curious.
You can now be in Hunter and change your sprint to aim transition to go to aim down I to what?
Oh, I'm
The aim
confused. What?
state the aim state of your weapon should transition when you interrupt sprinting with aiming sprint. So you can change it so if you hold down like in because shift is both aim down sights and
Oh,
uh
yeah,
yeah, so you can
and
change it to be a preference of either going to aim down sights or shorter aim.
interesting.
Yeah. So that's where you can hold down shift to sprint, but then still just do normal hip fire aiming.
Huh.
You can also do toggle aim down sights input, which is
Aim down sights input. Oh, huh, all right. Well,
yeah,
anyway.
that's neat. Sorry, this is
we,
the
we,
settings
we,
podcast apparently.
yeah, we found a rabbit hole we didn't mean to fall into. Sorry about that.
Yeah, this podcast is gonna be like a bunch of random crap. Is gonna have to be the title.
Yeah, I'll have to just like I don't know.
It's the
I'll
Snake VoIP podcast.
the snake VoIP settings
So
podcast. I don't know. I'll come up with something.
yeah, I think that kind of covers everything I wanted to hit on for VoIP. I promise this would be a short one, so
Oh yeah, we're only 42 minutes in, and
I mean that's yeah.
I gotta edit out the very the dead air in the beginning and
No, but this is
it's
gonna
a
be
short bit, but yeah,
this is gonna
it's
be
incredibly short podcast.
it's fine. I we could draw out VoIP. I don't think it's worth it. It's one of those things where I think it's worth an episode because it's such a cool feature.
Yes, agreed.
But it's not one where you can be like, unless you just change it to just telling stories for another 20 minutes.
True. Yeah,
I did want to
we
hit
basically
on,
covered everything, right? I mean,
yeah,
the
I did
text
hit
side of
on
it and the VoIP.
they added VoIP to Tarkov, and it was really funny to see like normally like hunt interactions happening in like streamers games there. Where like it's Tarkov and it goes from like this very serious tense thing, and then you just hear like the sounds of somebody eating into the mic from around the corner, and they're like, "Dude, I'm eating chicken. Like,
Leave me
don't
alone.
kill me."
That's funny.
So that was fun. I think that's part of it too. Is you can have all these super tense situations in the game, and then you can have just somebody stay role playing a hillbilly while playing the redneck or whatever,
Yeah,
or whatever happens like that, and that could be a lot of fun. We
yeah.
didn't hit on that. The whole role playing and just talking into the
Yeah,
mic.
sure. Actually, I actually had
Yeah.
a very good example of that. Not to, well, why not? I'll shout him out. There's a fellow who plays and streams called the Bayou Diplomat. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
I've seen some. He just tries to talk to people sometimes, and
yeah.
it's
Well,
it's really
it
funny.
was the like when I first interacted with him. It was the bottom right compound. What was that? CNA lumber?
Oh,
No,
I've seen his YouTube stuff.
no.
That's kind of
I
funny
actually
that you
met
can
him
even
in
get.
game multiple
Yeah, that's
times.
fun.
Yeah,
That's fun.
he's actually commented on my stream profile. He was playing
Mhm.
Monroe, and he was like role playing a crazy inmate that had escaped prison and was like just charging at me with I don't remember what he killed me with, but I'm sure it was a shotgun of
Yeah.
some kind because he was charging me. But like it was funny because I heard him at first going crazy, and I knew it was the Monroe, and I was like. I actually voiped back. I was like, "Wait, are you role playing Monroe? That's awesome!" Like, you never see that in the Bayou. And he said something else and then killed me. But then later on my profile on Steam, he was like, "Thank you for appreciating the Monroe. Like this Monroe appreciates you," or something like that. It was good.
The average Monroe appreciator.
Yes, I love Monroe. He's one of my favorite skins, honestly.
I do not. I don't like Monroe.
Monroe looks like he belongs in System of a Down's Chop Suey's music video.
What?
Go watch the music video for Chop Suey by System of a Down. It looks like Monroe belongs in that music video. Tell me I'm wrong.
Drake, when I said that this was going to be like a random crap
I
podcast, I
didn't mean
didn't
for it
quite
to
mean
actually be a random crap.
like
I
you
didn't
really.
necessarily mean now either, by the way, but I would
No,
like
I'm
your
doing it. I'm
reaction.
doing it now.
Okay.
What the crap is this?
Have you never seen that music video? It's a great music video. Well, the song really is the great part of it, in my opinion. But the music video it looks like Monroe belongs in that music video. And for reference,
See,
if anyone's watching, I'm gonna go pull up Monroe so you know what I'm talking about here.
I thought you were gonna say that Monroe feels like he's like a because I don't like playing Monroe and I'm not a huge fan of his design, but I do feel like he fits into the game pretty well and
Oh
that
yeah,
he's like different from the others and so like I really appreciate him.
yeah. I like how different he is for sure.
That just ruined
All of Monroe.
all of what I was
Oh,
gonna talk
all
about.
of what you were
But
gonna say. Oh, my bad. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no, it's fine. There's some fun moments though. I just remember, well, this is a while back, but I was playing trios and some solo with a Vetterly, just 1 2 3 tapped my entire crew.
Ooh, that's some bad
Just
feels.
just when we were just moving compounds. This is before like the matchmaking changes even. And we just remember him coming up to our bodies and going, "Yeah, that's how it goes in the bayou." Just doing like the old, like, "Oh, you can't give Johnny Redneck or whatever." And we're like, "What the frick is this?"
That's amazing.
No,
Well,
it wasn't even a Vetterly. It was a silenced. It was a silenced Winfield because we just heard the death noise. We're like, "Wait, what's happening?" And then the other two of us were dead. Like it was maybe 5 seconds.
that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
A whole team down in 5 seconds.
Yeah,
3 shots, 3 kills.
it was between it was just on a road between two compounds, and he was just in the woods, and he just went boop boop boop, and we're just all dead.
Was he a solo? Did you find out?
Yeah, he was a solo.
Well, that makes some sense because solos are always higher MMR, so they're gonna be higher skilled. But like,
Yeah, I
still,
mean,
that's
it was
insane.
just he just 1 2 3 tapped us, and then I hesitate to say trash talk because that's got the. I mean, he did, but it's not like it was
It
clearly more for
was,
the humor than like
yeah, it wasn't meant to be malicious in any way.
yeah, it was freaking hilarious. And we were like, it was like level like almost 50 hunters, so like we were really upset initially, and then we heard that we're like, okay, this kind of great.
This is fine. This is
This is
fine.
fine. Yes, you can have some really fun crap with VoIP. I really like the role playing. I've played as like groups with like all red shirts or something, and then like you
Yeah.
sneak up and then with like combat axes, and then you shout like "Get 'em, boys!" and then just like everybody like jumps out and tries to get somebody. You can get some really fun stuff like that. But
I think the only time I've ever like did any kind of roleplay voice chat thing was that clip I have of getting sabered in the back, and I screamed afterward. But the lead up to it was
yeah,
the dude said something in some like gravelly, cowboy voice or whatever, and I replied. We were just talking over the wall, essentially. Are you coming in here? No, you coming out here? Kind of thing. And then he
I've had
snuck out and stabbed me in the back with a saber, and I screamed. It was great. Hi, editing Drake here. Context might be needed for those on audio. I found the clip I was just talking about and decided to include it as an example of VOIP. Enjoy the madness.
Definitely come out with your hands up.
You're just gonna shoot us.
I mean, not if you come out with your hands up. Actually, no, stay in there. I need to pop a shot. Hold on. I gotta take my drugs.
No, my drugs.
Too late. I took them. I hear you.
Come on in.
I'm scared now.
I got a pig sticker in it.
it's fun to play like goofy loadouts. Like I remember, I was playing. I think it was a little Bell Cavalry Saber, just something weird.
Mm-hmm.
And like I tagged a guy, and then I jumped off the very top of, one of the bell towers to charge him, and I landed like 5 hit points, and I almost got him. And I'm just I was just yelling like charge, and his buddy just tapped me with like a pistol or something.
Feels bad.
But it's fun. You can do some goofy stuff. We've done orc role playing where we all choose stupid orc names. So from 40k,
Right.
just we play like chain pistols with fanning. and
So menaces
like
is what you're saying.
axes.
You were just
Yeah.
a menace.
Yeah, and then you just like you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna hit him, but I'm just gonna unload my chain pistol with fanning from 50 meters.
More
and see
DACA,
if I can
right?
hit my yeah, more DACA. So yeah, VoIP is freaking great. I like it a lot. I'm glad it's in the game.
I love VoIP.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the podcast.
Yeah, that's the podcast. Anything else you want to toss in, or I would say story time, but we kind of did that the entire podcast. So
Yeah, that's kind of been the podcast.
this is a story time podcast. That's what I'm gonna call it. VoIP and story time.
Well, we covered the event too, so
True. All right, I'll have to think on a name, but
I think we should just wrap up. But yeah, we should. Podcasts are still coming. They might be a bit spotty. I apologize.
yes. And you can find us in the link tree in the description of wherever
a
you're
link
listening. Yes, I told you this. We have a link tree.
I forget about it.
It's in the description of wherever you're listening. Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, I believe are our 4 main platforms at the moment. Yes, thank you for listening to Hunt Lowdown.
Yeah.
Don't forget to bring your drugs.
Oh my god. Bye everybody. Have a good one.
Have a good one, everybody.